Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the fifth class of Python for ML Enthusiast, brought to you by IOSD UIET KUK. So today's class is going to be short, but it's really important for Python basics. It's about operators in Python and indentation in Python. So indentation is one of the most important concept in Python you want to learn or you need to learn. It's the basic for using if-else statements, your loops that we will be covering in the next sessions. But yeah, so today's class is about operators in Python and indentation in Python. Okay, so I have left these two references again, Geeks for Geeks reference for basic operators in Python. And today is going to be a live coding session. I haven't prepared any hard code for today because it's really easy to code and there's nothing to remember in this. It's just basic mathematics. You have read all the operators, almost all the operators in your C or C++ language. Indentation is a bit new to you, and we will be using the reference from W3 School Student for this indentation article. Okay, so coming to the Geeks for Geeks article here. So basically there are three types of operators. First is the arithmetic operator, in which we study plus, minus, multiply, division that returns a float value, then division that returns a floor or int value, and then modulus. Okay, so let me just show you that. Okay, so first is addition. Okay, 5 plus 5 for example. Okay, it's actually connecting here. Basically this is Google Collaboratory, and it's a notebook in which we can use Python, and in which we can run Python codes or ML codes. Actually we use it for ML and DL purposes, but for this Python session I'm using this because it's really easy to use and run here. Let it just connect. Okay, so it's connected now. Okay, and you can see the RAM and disk space being utilized, and okay. Yeah, so I added two integer numbers, 5 plus 5. You can also add float like 5.5 plus 6.2 or something, just sorry, 6.2, and when you run it you will get the answer. Simple. It's taking a bit of time. There is some connection issue here, I guess. Yeah, if this tick disappears, this means there's some connection issue between the Google server and my PC. Okay, let's try to add strings. Okay, like hello and then plus and then world. Okay, hello world. Okay, similarly you can print them also, like print say 5 plus 5. It is facing some connection issue. Yeah, it printed 5 plus 5, like print as I told you this, like hello and then plus and then world. Done. So it's really easy. There's one more point that if you add two integer numbers, the output is also going to be integer. Okay, so let me just show you that, like type, let me just write in some next code. Okay, for example, if you add two int numbers like 5 plus 5, 5 and 5 are two int numbers, and their sum is also going to be integer. And if you write type of two float numbers, it's going to be float, and type of one integer and one float is also going to be float. Let it just take place. Okay, it's integer, float and float. Okay, again if I add two strings, it's going to be a string. But what if I add an integer and a string, like 6 plus hello? What's this is going to be? Let's see. it's actually taking a lot of time here in collaborating. I think we should shift to Jupyter or something. Okay, so you see that it gives an error of unsported operand types for int and string. So remember that int and string or float and string cannot be added. So error message, it's error message, that's error message. Okay, so this was your addition plus symbol plus operator basically. Okay, next operator is minus. So it is similar to plus, like 5.2 minus 6.5. Let me know, just open my collaborator basically. Okay, so you see here like 5.2 minus 6.5, it gives the answer. You can also add and subtract the complex number like 3 plus 5j or 3 plus 4j say, and you can use brackets again, so it follows the board mass rule, and minus 2 plus 1j j. Okay. So 3 minus 2 is 1 and 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay, I'm going to shift to my Jupyter notebook. So this thing is known as Jupyter notebook. We will be seeing it in upcoming classes, and it's really important for your ML purposes. So let's just code here rather than using the collaborative because there's some issue. Okay, coming back to the point, we have seen this. Okay, so its type is also, let me just complete that type of this. So if you add or subtract two of these, you will be getting a complex number. Let's list complex. Okay, complex. Okay, done. So let me just use my Jupyter notebook. Okay, next is multiplication. So we have seen subtraction. Let's just see how we subtract two. What if we subtract two strings? Okay, hello world. It use minus is string, for string is never minus. Okay, they just added it, gives an error. So let me just write error statement here. Okay, let's move to another operator. It's multiplication. Again, it works only for int, float and complex. Let's try it. 6 into, so star is symbol for multiplication. Done. And now when you use complex number, you need to use your brackets, round brackets. Let's try this. Okay, so it's clear. You can check it using this multiplication, like 3 into 2 is 6 and 4 into 5 is 20 and minus 20 because j square. So minus 20 plus 6 is minus 14, and then 15j plus 8j is 23j. That's how you multiply the complex number. And okay, that's all for multiplication. You have a multiplied integer and this and this. Okay, and if I write some statement like this, like 3 plus 5 multiply 2 minus 5, say like this, so it follows the board mass rule. And if I write it like this, 3 plus 5 multiply 2 minus 5, okay, that's the result. Okay, so it follows the board mass rule. It's important that it follows board mass rule. It's a bracket of division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. Next is division float. Okay, so it's important again, division float versus division int. So if I write 2 divided by 3, answer is 0.66. If I 2 and double divide by 3, that's integer divide, answer is 0. So it always return an integer. Now the problem is that for 0.66 it should return 1, but it returns 0. That's the first value. Okay, so rather than using this, we actually use like if we use if statement. If 2 divided by 3, we'll just leave it. We will be covering it in upcoming classes when we learn if. Okay, so 2 double slash 3 basically done. And if we write 3 divided by 2, it's 1.5, and 3 double divided by 2 is again 1. So it takes the first integer value. Okay, next is okay, basically this is the quotient that we receive, and modulus is the remainder that we will be receiving when we divide these two. So 3 divided by 2, 1. Now important is that division, let me just write it here. So division can be operated on int and float. I need to check it for for complex number. I don't know if it works with complex number. 2j divided by 3 plus 6j 4 say. Okay, let's say yeah, so it works for okay. And int and float and complex while modulus works only for int. So modulus works only for int. Okay, so if you try to run modulus for say some value like this, it gives answer, but it's technically wrong. Okay, for int. No, it also works for okay, it works for, there's no issue then. It can be updated on all, there's no note. I'm sorry for that. So it works for perfectly for in integer as well as float, but in modulus in C language does not work for float or complex numbers. Okay, so that's why I was in a bit confusion. Okay, so these all are done. Moving to the next part are relational operators. You will be understanding them when you learn if statement, but yeah, let's just go through them. Okay, so 2, if I write it like this, it's a false because it's false statement. If I write it like this, it's a 2. Okay, so it returns a boolean. Okay, so type of 3 2 is boolean. Okay, so it basically is a boolean data type. Okay, next is equal to. So if 3 equal to 2, what is equal to 2? 2 is equal to 2. So true, and 3 equal to 2 is false. Next operator is this, not equal to. This is false, and 2 not equal to 3. This is true. Any more? Yeah. 2 greater than equal to 3, false, and 3 greater than equal to 2, true. Similarly 3 less than equal to 2, false, and 2 less than equal to 3, it's true. So that's the relational operations. Okay, next are, so it basically returns the boolean type. Next are logical operators, and or not. Okay, So if you write 2 and 3, 3, 3, 4, 2, 3. Okay, so it returns a bigger value, but this makes no sense. It's of no physical use. We will be using them when we need to compare two statements. Say for example, if condition 1 is met or condition 2 is met, then we need to perform some action. Or if condition 1 and condition 2 are both necessarily met, then we need to do some statement, or neither of them. That's the note. Okay, that's 3 note 2. It just does not give any value. Or you just write 3 note, it's not going to give any value, because these are not of physical use as such. Okay, let me just write a sample code for you. If 3 is greater than 2 and 5 is greater than 3, then print L. Now if you see that 3 is greater than 2, this is true, and 5 is greater than 3, this is also true. So true and true, that's the truth table of AND. You can read it from the link here. Okay, from this link, Geeks for Geeks. Okay, if true and true, this means this statement is true, and if true, this is printed, so it's printed here. Okay, and if I write or and make one statement wrong like this, it will still be printed, because or works only if any one of these two are, even if any one of these two are true. Okay, that's the truth table. Okay, these are bitwise operator. Again, not very useful, but yeah, you can read them from here only. The first is like bitwise AND. So if you print it, it again is going to give the same output as the logical outputs were given. Okay, you can use these symbols if you want. It's not very useful, so you can just read it. I'm going to skip this part. Okay, next is assignment operator, and we are going to study some of them which are really important up to this. Okay, so if I want to assign some value to an integer, I use a single equal to sign. So I print the value of a. Done. If I want to increment the value of a, so I use this. So it means a is equal to 5 is equal to a is equal to plus is equal to 5. So it means initially the value of a is taken as 5, and then again a value is added to it. Okay, so it gives me value 10. Clear? Okay, so it's like increment operator. So if you use instead of 5 1, it becomes an increment operator. Next, similarly, decrement operator is minus a. A minus is equal to 1. This is the decrement operator, and if you print a now, you will get value of 10. 11 increment 10. Okay, this means a is equal to a minus 1, and this means a is equal to a plus 1. Okay, moving ahead, we have multiply and divide similar cases. It becomes a is equal to a into something, and a is equal to a divided by something, and so on. Now there are special operators. These are true operators. These are known as identity operators basically. So if, or just write it like 5 is 4, false, and 5 is 5, true, 5 is not 4, true, and so on. Okay, next are membership operators. In, not in. Again, if there is value in sequence or in you can say a list. For example, there is some value in list and we use in operator there. You have seen it already for I in. So here we use in. It's the membership operator, and we define that I is present in the range and some range. Okay, or you have seen that for I in list A, and we write a list name. Okay, and so on. So that's the membership operator. We have read it in the last class. We have used it in the last class. And that's all for the operators. And again, this marks the end of class 5A, class 5th A. Okay, you can read this operators on this given link. In the next section of this class, in the next part of this class 5B, we are going to study indentation, and if else we will try to cover if else if possible. Okay, because the time limitation, I'm trying to keep it about 20 to 25 minutes for a video, single video. Okay, so subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the upcoming videos. Do revise the previous codes, experiment with the codes, check out the Git repository and the important references in the description. Like the video, share it with your friends, and comment your doubts and feedbacks. So that's all for today. That's all from my side, and thank you.